Hey guys, welcome back to Vanellope'sCorner. Corner. Sorry it took so long for me to get in the stream. I've been busy and it was kind of relaxing. And then I had to, and then I had to eat dinner and stuff because I was really hungry. Yesterday I had to end my live stream early because I got hungry, so I needed to end the stream early. So I didn't want to do that today. So instead, I ate before I started the live stream. So probably gonna be streaming for like maybe an hour or two. It depends on when my mom's ready to hang out tonight. But regardless of that, I'm gonna be reading a lot of MLP Creepypastas. Wait a second. Okay. I didn't know if that was gonna cause some problems or not because I just put it on mute. So I put it on mute and then I took it off mute just a second ago because I want to make sure that we're not having any problems with the mic or whatever. So I'm just gonna try and find some MLP Creepypastas that we can read. Rainbow Factory. Alright, let's try and do Rainbow Factory first. Rainbow Factory. There's the song. There's the Rainbow Factory. Where's the Creepypasta? My Little Pony Rainbow Wiki. Wait. Okay. In the Rainbow Factory, what appears and always come true. Like, is this? Okay. Not finding the Rainbow Factory. Oh, maybe it's here. This is Rainbow Factory. What's this? Alright. Oh, okay, it's just a bunch of comments and stuff. Wait, let me search. Oh, I can search up on the site. Hang on, let me try. Rainbow Factory. Alright. We're gonna see if we can. There's a Beyblade fanfiction. It's a Beyblade / MLP fanfiction. Alright. Interesting. All summer in a dash. Rainbow wants to do something to make up for the damage she caused at the Weather Factory, and Twilight wants to help. But you know Rainbow, she can't settle for anything less than perfection. Maybe I'll read that one another time, but we're not reading that kind of stuff today because that's not a creepypasta. What the heck? Rainbow in the Factory. Alright. Reimagining of one of our favorite classic stories, Rainbow Factory. Okay. Maybe I'll read that another time, but right now I'm trying to find. Okay. I'm not finding the Rainbow Factory. I don't know why it's not here. Hang on. Alright. Alright, well, I'm not gonna give up anytime soon. Rainbow Factory. It's a lot like just. There's a lot of like. Wait a second, there's a sequel. Apparently there's a sequel to the Rainbow Factory. I'm trying to find the original right now, though. I don't know why I'm not getting any. I don't know why I can't find it, because it was posted in a bunch of different places. Okay. How do I read it? It's freaking everywhere. So where is it? There's so much about it, and I literally cannot find the actual Rainbow Factory. Fuck. Hang on. Alright. Okay, I think I may have found it. This is, I do not own the story. All credit goes to Aurora Dawn. Yay! I think I found it finally. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through the entire of this fan fiction today, because I want to try and do a few, so maybe we'll just do, like, the beginnings of a few stories, and then you guys can tell me which ones you want me to continue or something. So there's a lot happening in this. This story is supposedly really creepy. Wait, maybe I should let you guys see the screen too. Hang on, let me switch it. Okay, this is a really long story. I doubt we're gonna finish this today. Yeah, this looks like the original one. I think this is the actual legitimate Rainbow Factory. I'm gonna try and see if I can, alright. Please work. Hang on, I think it's working. Yes, it is. Okay. Excuse me. There's long been rumors as to how exactly rainbows are made in Equestria. While a great amount of Pegasi ponies are employed in the rainbow department of the weather factory, almost all of them do the low-end work. What's known as that great stems of spectra, the individual colors of the rainbow, flow through large grates and into vast vats. From there, workers carefully and equally mix the spectra into the coagulated rainbow pools that dot and run through the factory and the surrounding city. Next, that mixture is pumped to the floor below, where other employees atomize it and store it until the active weather Pegasi deploy it in field. However, no one knows how individual spectra is made. Supplies are never seen being brought in, leaving not even a clue what goes into a rainbow. Tourists, when visiting the factory, are treated to an extremely foreboding and plain wall, with massive solid doors barring entry to any pony at any time. While most of the facilities bear various signs and architecture is bubbly and welcoming, the Rainbow Factory's upper floor was protected by harsh imagery of potential hazards and death. And the cloud wall was not made out of the clean white of the rest of the city, but of a black, quietly thundering fog. To become an employee of the Upper Rainbow Factory means sacrificing any life outside those black walls. Workers are sworn to secrecy and forbidden from leaving, and live inside the facility itself. Those few who ever managed to make it out not in a body bag were twisted and disturbed, too damaged to ever bring themselves to talk about it. A lot of theories were proposed: dark magic from captured unicorns, chemicals and environmental hazards that no sane pony would tolerate, and even thoughts of another unknown sister of Celestia's, destined to create the spectra instead of raise a sun or a moon. None of them could be farther from the truth. But a rainbow is easy once you get to know it with the help of the magic of a Pegasus device. Okay. Come on, Orion. Orion, we're gonna be late for a final test, Scootaloo called to a friend of hers. She was older now, in her last year of flight school. She, like all other Pegasus in the school, was terribly nervous of the final test. Those that passed were granted freedom into the world to find their cutie marks if they haven't yet, and become working ponies. A little known, or at least little thought about fact, was of what happened to the fillies that failed their test. While uncommon, One or two from every class generally didn't have it in them to perform the rigorous acts and maneuvers. Those that failed their tests were looked down upon in the worst of ways, shunned and hated. Clydesdale had always bred a form of nationalism against its occupants. If you weren't the best or didn't show the potential of being the greatest, you weren't allowed to be part of the glorious collective. Scootaloo moved a little to the side as Orion, a tall yet fairly skinny pony, settled next to her. He fluffed his light brown feathers and gave a worried attempt at a smile as he stared around where he sat. They were sitting in the large open waiting room overlooking the Colosseum with all the other graduating Pegasi. Just visible in the distance was the factory. Orion glanced at it and gulped. "What's the matter, Orion? You afraid of getting a dead-end job on the snow line?" Orion chuckled a bit, then closed his eyes and sighed. "No, it's just, I don't know. I don't think I can do this. What if I fail? What if I don't fail but do just bad enough to still be disliked by everyone? I don't know if I can take being deported. Where do we even go anyway?" Scootaloo gave Orion a friendly punch. "No one knows you, dolt, and we're not going to fail. Everyone here is going to be fine. I know I will at least pass." She laughed. "Thanks to the tips from Rainbow Dash, I'm sure to be fine." "Oh yeah, sure. That reassures me. That's actually just as, if not even more reassuring than the psychopathic hate every pony here seems to love to spread." "Quit panicking, Scaredy Wings," Scootaloo replied. "The only one I think even might fail is that yellow pony with the dark green mane. She's the one who was out sick for that month, you know." "Oh yeah," Orion remembered as he craned his head in the other pony's direction. "The one who had that bad case of hoof and wing. She looks pretty confident, though." "I suppose we'll see," Scootaloo trailed, turning to look at the factory herself. It gave her chills, not of fear, but of pride. "I hope I get some active weather job. Can you imagine? Everyone in Ponyville or Philadelphia, staring up at me going, 'There goes Scootaloo, such an amazing flyer, and from Cloudsdale there can be no doubt.'" She smiled in excitement, forgetting her tension for the moment. "That would be something, I'll admit. Mind you, just coming from Cloudsdale, who wouldn't be in awe?" "Exactly. Praise the flock. Praise the flock." "Places, places, every pony." A massive buff Pegasus walked toward the entrance to the Colosseum. "We're going to do this by name. Your adjudicators are on the east side of the field. Do not, I repeat, do not fly too far west. If they lose sight of you for any reason, you'll be failed. Immediately. Take deep breaths. Stretch your wings one last time. The test will consist of 3 sections: weather clearing, agility, and finally, recovery. Clear the clouds, fly through the hoops, and then fly to the marked elevation. Close your wings for at least 3 seconds. Any less and you'll fail, but keep in mind there's no extra points for extra seconds. Finally, recover before you hit the cloud floor. Understood? Any questions?" The instructor paused and carefully glanced at every single pony in the room. Everyone's eyes were completely focused on him, and none were creased with confusion. "All right, Aurora Dawn," that's actually the name of the person who wrote this story. "You're up first. Clear, fly, fall, complete." The yellow pony nodded and walked quickly up to the starting ramp with purpose. She stared at the watching judges, waited for a nod from all 3, and then took off with powerful force. The ramp bounced slightly from the force of the takeoff. Every pony watched as Aurora quickly reached the starting altitude and then began a direct and purposeful attack on the positioned clouds. With expert timing and intelligent angles, the sky was soon empty of any moisture. Scootaloo and Orion watched with open mouths as they watched the first testee pull fast and tight turns, expertly shooting dead center through each and every hoop. Finally, Aurora pulled herself up to the proper altitude, hovered, and closed her wings. The group of students gasped as she started plummeting down towards the clouds and counted breathlessly. 1, 2, 3. They sighed as they watched her wings open in the correct amount of time, collectively holding that relief. Suddenly, Aurora's wings whipped upwards, and the group of students flinched in horror as they all heard the loud, hollow snap, only to be suddenly replaced by an unending, piercing scream. Many, like Orion, shielded their eyes with their wings, as others, like Scootaloo, could only watch, terrified, as the blur of yellow, green, and red plummeted into a cloud with a dull thump. Wasting no time, the instructor walked forward again as the three judges simply pointed down and started shuffling papers around. Speaking loudly as if nothing had happened, he called out again, "Daisy Fields, clear, fly, fall, complete." Schoolo and Orion stared slack-jawed as another pony gulped, then walked forwards onto the path and took off. They turned back to the tuft on the cloud where Aurora landed and stared. As the wind blew the fragments that were thrown up from the collision away, they saw the shivering yellow body attempt to move, only to collapse with a cry. "Faraday spots! Clear, fly, fall, complete!" Aurora still struggled to walk, wailing with every step. Her legs weren't broken, she could use them fine. But it was obvious the pain from her wing joints and the loss of her potential life was crushing her. Schoolo felt Orion shuffle uneasily, tears welling in his eyes as a frown formed on his face. "Holiday shine. Clear, fly, fall, complete." "No one's coming to help her," Orion seethed through closed teeth. Schoolo felt extremely sad for the yellow Pegasus, but couldn't see herself helping her. She would be failed herself and sent away, far away from Cloudsdale and from any familiar place in Equestria, to a place where she and any other failed students could never stain Cloudsdale's reputation. It was a terrible shame, but Schoolo couldn't fail herself. She couldn't fail her friends, and she definitely couldn't fail Rainbow Dash. Not after the care and help she had given her Schoolo's whole life. Schoolo blinked the tears from her eyes and forced herself to watch the competing students. One after another took off, successfully passed the test, and flew to the east gate, under the judge's spot in the stands. That's all Schoolo focused on. Pass the test, fly to the gate, live a happy life. Orion Solstice, clear, fly, fall, complete. No. What? The instructor took a step back, one leg left raised in the air. You can't just refuse your flight test. Get out there before you piss the judges off. No, don't even pretend you care about my future if you don't care about hers, Orion defied, unsure about himself. You say you want me to get a good life, and yet you let those that fail suffer unbearable pain. Get the fuck onto that field before I fail you myself, the instructor shouted menacingly. Fine, Orion spoke sharply before walking onto the ramp. He stared at the judges, waiting for the individual nods, and the second they came, he took off. However, long before the starting altitude, he turned sharply and landed gently next to Aurora. She turned and looked at him, blood running down her forehead and sides, and tears streamed down her face. What are you doing? You'll fail like me. You'll be exiled. I'd rather be exiled from a place that treats ponies like this than live my life while others don't live theirs. Aurora smiled, happiness briefly replacing her sadness in her black and puffy eyes, until she stumbled again and intense pain flashed across her body. Orion leaned in close, using his wing to brace the yellow pony against himself. He stared up at the judges, beaming hate with his vision. They stared down, unaffected, and simply pointed down, before looking back towards the ramp for the next contestant. Schoolo stood shocked, hardly hearing her name called. She moved numbly up the ramp, never taking her eyes off her friend and the pony he sacrificed himself to help. After a brief moment, she shook her head, recovered her thoughts, and looked to the judges. Thoughts passed through her head as she watched them all nod. Oh, Celestia, what do I do? I can't let everyone I know down, but I'll never see Orion again. I hope he knew that risk when he did that. I'm sure he's thinking the same right now. She glanced at Orion. He wasn't looking at her. She took off, heartbroken. Instinct kicked in as the familiar rush of wind cooled her and blew her thoughts away. She stopped at the right altitude and then launched again, sensing and seeing every cloud, formulating a game plan. In a matter of a couple dozen seconds, the sky was clear. She did a quick loop in mid-flight, aiming at the first hoop. With a powerful flash of her wings, she propelled forward through the first ring. And then the second, and then the third, expertly turning and drifting. She curved in towards the second last ring, near the bottom of the field. As she descended, she caught sight of Orion and Aurora, almost at the west gate now. Orion turned his head and smiled weakly. Schoolo's focus shattered. Orion knew what he did. He cared about her. He'd miss her, and he'd never get to say goodbye. Schoolo cranked into the bottom part of the ring, falling backwards several feet and hitting the ground. With a sudden intense flash of fear, she flipped herself onto her feet and began flapping her wings, levitating off the ground. Maybe that didn't count as a failure, she thought. I can still fly. There was a distraction on the field. She spun around to the judges, 3 hooves pointed down. Scootaloo started crying there, tears welling up and blurring her vision. This wasn't right. None of it. Orion should have passed his test and cheered her on from the east gate. She shouldn't have looked at him. She should have focused on flying. But there was no room for excuses. Defeated, she slowly hovered towards Orion and settled down next to him. She looked at him through her purple eyes. He looked back, offering a smile. You did a good job. Scootaloo dropped her head and sobbed. She then walked around Orion, lifted a wing of her own, and helped Aurora walk to the west gate. Before them stood a long, unlit hall, with only a cheap sign stuck to the wall, notifying test failures to proceed down the hall. They waited, only briefly, to gather themselves and prepare for where they would be taken, and then all stepped forward together. Let's delve deeper into rainbow philosophy, far beyond that of Cloudsdale's mythology. It's easy to misjudge that floating city with its alluring decor and social psychology. Amidst an empty carriage at the end of the lonely hall were 3 imposing ponies, leaning in a disinterested bored pose. One of them happened to look up as the sorry-looking trio stumbled out into the open. They were on the bottom edge of the Colosseum, with the vast rolling hills and plains of Equestria visible far below. Hey boss, we got some of them worthless Pegasuses, the first one called to an even bigger pony on the other side of the carriage. I suppose it's time to get to work, is it? Cool it, Hotshot. There may be more too. No, I was the last student to go. Scootaloo spoke in sobs. Orion could only hang his head. It's, she paused and then breathed deeply, as determined to remain as strong as she could. It's just us 3. Aurora's wings, they're broken. She needs help. Ain't that just a crying shame it is? What's it to us? All the better she don't come flying back to us no more. We may have failed our damn test, but that doesn't mean we're not worth keeping alive. Scootaloo shouted in a flash of rage. She was determined to hold on to as much dignity as she could. All right, sheesh. Hey, Patches, doctor her up before we head out. I don't want any blood on them seats. I just washed that thing. You other 2, in the cart. Orion and Scootaloo hopped into the carriage and got as comfortable as they could on the hard seats, but made sure to leave room for Aurora. As soon as the third of the large ponies finished bandaging her wings, Aurora carefully stepped into the vehicle and lay down on the bench at the back. Scootaloo inched closer to her and leaned down to talk as the door of the carriage slammed shut. The boss pony was inside the back, standing by the door, watching each of them. So, Scootaloo began quietly, trying not to speak too loud. You're Aurora. I'm Scootaloo. I'm sorry we had to meet like this. Any meeting of a friend is a welcome meeting, Aurora spoke gently, with sincerity in her eyes. We did our best. That's all I can say. That's all we can say. That's all any of us can say. Who's to say the city of the deported isn't a good one anyways? The thought struck Scootaloo as she considered it. No one was ever told about where the Pegasi were brought. Most ponies considered it to be some odd land like where the zebras hailed from. That made Scootaloo realize something even more profound. Hey, if where we're taken is where Zakor's from, then there's got to be a way to get back. It's not as if we're banned from Equestria. Fluttershy, an old friend of mine, she's a Pegasus who lives in Ponyville. She never passed flight school. She never took her test. They've never come and taken her away. Exactly, Aurora agreed with a nod. Orion overheard and offered his thoughts. I think the reason we're sent far away is because no pony from Cloudsdale ever wants to admit that someone who failed flight school could come from their city. What a fucking horrible place now that I think of it. I never want to go back. Maybe that's why no Pegasus ever comes back. They just don't like Cloudsdale. You goddamn worthless ponies can hardly call yourself Pegasuses. The boss spoke from the door. He was swaying ever so slightly as the carriage was lifted and moved to an unknown location. Useless failures is what you are. No pony comes back from exile, regardless of reason. Can't even pass your goddamn test. You 3 make me sick. Scootaloo jumped up from her seat, lifted herself into the air with her wings, and dove legs first at Boss. You shut the hell up about us. You have no right to treat others like this. Boss raised a hoof and backhanded Scootaloo out of the air onto the floor. I can treat you however I want. You hardly classify as ponies to Cloudsdale, or any of Equestria for that matter. Now sit the fuck down and shut up until you get to your destination. Where are we being taken anyways? Not like we can tell anyone now, and I'm sure it's the deliveries. You guys should know, Orion cautiously reasoned. Hell if I know. We hand these carriages off to ponies in suits, and we get a bag full of coins to keep quiet about the whole thing. It's how it's always been, for 1,000 years. The three fillies huddled together again, scared of the unknown. They kept quiet as they waited through the unbearable trip, all lost in their own thoughts. Friends, family, loved ones, and pets, all will never see them again, and some would never find out why. An hour passed, and then another. Finally, the uncomfortable quiet was broken by a sudden lurch, as the carriage stopped in its flight. Ah, Boss smiled. There's my stop. You ponies play nice now. Have fun in wherever the hell you're sent to. The carriage door shuffled open, and Boss hopped out with a gust of cold wind. It was night outside now, with hardly any light to see at all. Scootaloo stared outside and noticed another figure staring in. It was dressed in a black suit, its tail dyed an unnatural black that never occurred in nature. Its face was covered by a dark, loose-fitting mask, concealing its mane. All that was visible were rose-colored eyes, staring indifferently at the three ponies inside. She stopped on Scootaloo momentarily, unrecognizing, but she stared back. A second passed. The dark pony slammed the door shut, and the carriage took off once again. At least we can talk now, Aurora whispered in the dark. But they had nothing to talk about. But with all great things comes a great responsibility, that of Cloudsdale's being weather stability. Sorry, I'm enjoying singing Rainbow Factory, because it's just with each new paragraph comes a couple verses of the song, and so I'm just like singing them for you guys. Alright. The carriage finally shuddered to a stop. The three desolate fools blinked their eyes awake, having all resolved to conserve energy for what came next. The loud scraping noise, the door shook, and then swung wide open. Several more ponies, obscured by masks and suits, were moving around the area. Scootaloo blinked against the light for what she was seeing. They were in a cloud building. And so, as adjusted, she noticed more details. Several of the blackened ponies were rushing around, some holding clipboards. Some carrying briefcases and other important-looking items on their backs. The complex was full of machinery and signs. Pipes ran along the ceiling, and a loud whir ran in the background, occasionally joined with other industrial sounds such as crashes and alarms. Scootaloo gasped. This place, the architecture, it's all so familiar. I think we're in the weather factory. Orion groaned. That can't be right. We were traveling for way too long. We've got to be far away from Equestria now, not to mention the city. Actually, Scootaloo may be right, Aurora mused. I noticed it was maybe the same amount of time from when we left the Coliseum to the place the carriage drivers swapped, that it was from the swap place to here. But I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe that's just a coincidence. Welcome, mules, a large and powerful voice commanded. Several of the suited ponies moved to make way for a deep, dark-red Pegasus dressed in a white lab coat. You degenerates are probably wondering where exactly you are. Stupid fillies, you're in Cloudsdale, the Rainbow Factory to be correct. Allow me to show you around. What's going on here? Do you expect to use us as slaves? Because I'd rather be deported, thanks, Scootaloo yelled. Orion and Aurora got off their seats and stood behind Scootaloo, nodding in agreement. Like you failures have a choice. You'll be here for the rest of your lives. Oh, I'm sorry, where are my manners? I am Dr. Atmosphere. My degree isn't a medical one, I shall reassure you, in case you're picturing some dreadful surgery going on behind the scenes. Strange how so many worthless Pegasus get that idea. No, my degree is in engineering. I'm one of the four colts in this facility. I'm sure you've all had the tour of the lower factory, no? The three ponies nodded slowly, unsure of what was going on. Excellent! Who can tell me where the tour begins? Orion spoke up first. Where the spectra comes from upstairs and is mixed. Very good. What a pity you're utterly useless. What a pity you're utterly useless to the flock. You could have been a smart one. Dr. Atmosphere smiled sadistically and patted Orion on the head. But today, we're on the upper floor. Please follow me and don't get too far behind, or one of my helpers will be forced to encourage you. With that, he winked at the suited ponies. With nod, with nods, three of them at the rear leaned forwards and jabbed each of the Pegasus with tasers, shocking them to the ground. Dr. Atmosphere whinnied in laughter as they all yelped and fell, and continued into a soft chuckle as they all stood up again. Scootaloo blinked more tears from her eyes and shook herself again, trying to lose the tingling in her nerves. She turned and quickly looked at each of the suited ponies, catching each of them in the eye when she could. None of them were the rose-eyed pony from the carriage. Begrudgingly, she started walking behind the red engineer. You simply must be careful in this department. Dr. Atmosphere began in a tone not unlike the many tour guides on the lower floors. There's plenty of nooks and crannies and vents and vats one could fall into. One must be careful not to hurt themselves. After all, you're all hopeless as it is, any more so, and even we couldn't use you. He glanced behind himself maliciously as the three folks frowned in insult. They were walking down a series of halls with vibrating machines and assembly lines lining the way, occasionally ducking under low-hanging wires or carefully stepping over steaming pipes. As they walked, though, the building became cooler and cooler. All three were watching, sensing, looking for any way out. They couldn't see any. Now, let me tell you a story. Cloudsdale is where the weather is made. Without us, the rest of Equestria would starve, freeze, drown, and generally be a not very happy place. That gives us a special honor, one that can't be tainted by, incompetent fools like you. How could the world look up and trust us if Pegasi like you are flying around wearing the Cloudsdale name? No, we needed to do something with all of you, and then we got a delicious idea one day, over 1,000 years ago. Those were some smart ponies back then, I'll say. You don't find too many of them these days. But I digress, haha. Here now, through these doors, quickly now, before more encouragement is supplied. Dr. Atmosphere opened a heavy-looking door in a cramped corridor and offered a hoof inside. Scootaloo stared up at him. He glanced at a suited pony. Scootaloo and the others walked inside as he laughed again. Enjoy the rest of your pitiful life. And with that, he slammed the door closed. They all turned and looked at the big room they had been led to. It was fairly open and empty, almost like a theater room. At one end of the room, there were 6 square vats, each one nearly full with individual spectra. Above them was a peculiar-looking machine. From a central stack, 6 hoses broke off and led above each of the individual vats. At the top of the stack was a single opening, red with rust, despite the rest of the machine being shiny and clean. Even further above that was a fairly complex-looking object, with chains and gears hanging off of beams and pipes loosely. Running even higher than the whole machine was a length of scaffolding, with doors on either side leading out of the room. Down on the floor, a small collection of defeated, crying ponies sat, chatting quietly. Those suits, those are from are from that other flight school across town, Aurora informed, sounding shocked. And these other ponies sitting over there, see? I remember a trip we went on once with Levitating Acres Private School. I remember them from that trip. So this is where all the failures go, not deported, but forced to work forever? Orion sobbed quietly. In exchange for helping someone, he had doomed himself and his good friend to a life of servitude. Scootaloo reached a reassuring wing over and lifted his chin. She smiled at him, understanding his depression. At least we don't have to go through it alone, she cooed softly. Suddenly there was a commotion in the group of ex-students. One pony from an unidentified school took off, headed towards one of the doors on the scaffolding. Immediately, 2 suited ponies launched at record speed and both clipped the flyaway with their tasers. The pony spasmed in air and then dropped like a stone, with an audible crack as he landed and a violent burst of twitching. All the other ponies walked back, staring horrified at their friend. They watched, hopefully, for a long time. He didn't move. Some cried softly, most others turned away, too far confused to feel any more emotions. I guess that option's out, Aurora quietly said to no one in particular. But you can't fly right now anyways, Orion questioned. But that medic guy, Patches or whatever he was called, he popped my wings back into their joints and bandaged up where my skin tore. I won't be winning any races, but I can fly again. They slowly walked forward and joined the group of ponies, looking at each other with understanding sorrow. Eyes front and center, you inept mules, one of the suited ponies shouted. After the previous display, no one challenged that order, and stared at the scaffolding just as one of the doors opened. How, you ask, are they up to the task? To which the answer is in a simple facility. A few official-looking Pegasi walked in on the scaffolding and turned to look down on the group with disgust. One of them stood into a small podium set up on the corner and began speaking loudly and clearly. By now, you've all clearly determined that you are not going into exile. There's no deportation. There never was. You are in the factory. You will never leave the factory. And while you may be called useless, that's also not entirely true. You're worthless to the flock as a pony, but you still have purpose. Purpose to all the ponies in this land far and wide. You get to help us make rainbows. Beautiful, magical rainbows. Doesn't that excite you? The mysterious announcer grinned ecstatically, taking in all the disgusted looks from every foal on the floor below him. I thought so, he chuckled. It is just such an honor, you know. It leaves every pony entrusted with the task speechless, too. Now, do we have any volunteers? Again, every pony below glared with hate. One brave pony, a light pink one from Levitating Acres, walked forward a few steps, then yelled, How could you ever get away with this? How could Celestia or even Luna know about this and tolerate it? It's slavery. It's torture. I think you'll find it's more than that. A second official pony walked out at the shadows and up to the podium. The pony was in a suit and masked. The first pony walked off the podium and allowed the second to talk. Scootaloo noticed that it was the rose-eyed pony from before. She watched, more intently now. The voice was familiar. 1,000 years ago, when Celestia banished Luna from Equestria and sent her to the moon, she was charged with 3 tasks. She originally was in charge of raising the sun and showering the land with rainbows. But, with the moon being an additional task, she had to hand down the responsibility of rainbows. Celestia entrusted the Pegasi of Cloudsdale to make the rainbows for her from then on. For the first dozen years, we were given powerful unicorns to help create spectra. Spectra is pure pigment, pure color. Everything is full of spectra, but you can't just harvest it. You can never separate color from an object, so it was made artificially with magic. The masked pony never took her eyes off the brave pink one. That is, until our top engineers made a breakthrough. They discovered an ingenious way to extract pigment, and it was so beautiful even a simple machine could do it. But it couldn't be done with just anything. The conditions had to be right. What did those horrible people do? The pink Pegasus screamed, growing angrier by the minute. The mysterious pony whipped off her mask, unveiling more than her rose eyes. Her skin was a light cyan, and her mane was a gorgeous rainbow. Several of the fillies gasped. Scootaloo's knees weakened as it hit her. It was Rainbow Dash. Scootaloo's thoughts raced through her mind, and the room started spinning. It couldn't be. An evil twin, maybe? Perhaps some neglected sister? Rainbow Dash couldn't be this evil. She was her friend, her mentor, her only family, even if not by blood. How? How was all she could think. It had to be live ponies. Only in ponies where magic and spectra ran freely together. Rainbow Dash threw her head back and laughed maniacally. Only then could the spectra be separated, and it was such a beautiful idea, such a wonderfully horrible idea. It worked so well, we could create exponentially more rainbows of better quality with real spectra, and it finally gave us a way to prevent Cloudsdale from being tainted by all those horrible Pegasus which couldn't fly. Ah! Scootaloo couldn't take it. While all the other ponies were exclaiming their disgust and fear, running and screaming for where they came in, backing off as suited ponies surrounded them and herded them back into the center of the floor, Scootaloo couldn't take it anymore. I thought you loved me, she wailed, cutting Rainbow Dash's laughter short. Huh? She turned and noticed the amber-orange Pegasus. I thought you loved me. How could you do this to me? I thought you cared for me. After all the help, all my life you treated me like a little sister, and I treated you like my big sister. You were my big sister to me. You were the only family I've ever had, and you knew it. Tears were pouring down her face now, obscuring her vision again. Her throat hurt from the crying and shouting, but she couldn't stop. After after everything, you're just going to let me die? I tried so hard. For you. She stared at the floor for a moment. Everyone was silent. Then Scootaloo looked up slowly, and while she couldn't see for the sadness in her eyes, she looked straight at Rainbow Dash. Straight into those rosy eyes past them, and deep into Rainbow Dash herself. I thought you loved me. Rainbow Dash returned the look. Her eyes revealed no emotion, no love, no care, only apathy. Slowly, however, they glared at Scootaloo. Pure, seething hate erupted from Rainbow Dash's mouth as she screamed in return. I did love you. I tried so hard for you. I taught you everything I knew in hopes you would pass your test. You had it in you, kid. I knew. I knew what they did here. Ever since I performed that sonic rainbow and they approached me, they wanted to find more ways to make Spectrum. They thought that if I was capable of making rainbows, I could help them make its components. Well, they couldn't. But I learned a lot about this place. I'm the manager here now, you know? I worked my way up, in secret, pretending to only be simple weather control. How do you think I could afford that massive house over Ponyville? How do you... She trailed, shaking her head, remembering her anger suddenly. I tried, all right? It was up to you to save yourself. You didn't just fail yourself. You didn't just fail Cloudsdale. You failed me. You failed me. And that's the worst thing you could have done. You aren't just dead to Cloudsdale now. You're dead to me. The room tilted as Scootaloo tried to comprehend what she was told. Her mind broke, as she was totally unable to focus on anything. She stumbled slightly until Orion held open a wing, and she clung to it for stability. Rainbow Dash noticed this, and pointed and yelled with more fury. You can't have happiness! You ruined me! Now I'll ruin you! Workers! The brown one, there! Him first! No! Scootaloo, Orion, and Aurora all jumped. Suited ponies cornered Orion, pushing the other two to the side. He tried to leap out of the way to run, but one of the stallions spun around and kicked at him. The hoof connected to his shoulder, and Orion collapsed with a shout. Get back! More suits yelled at Aurora and Scootaloo as they dragged the whimpering Orion to the front of the room. The giant machine at the back started humming to life, and the assembly of chains lifted off the top and moved towards the floor. Everyone noticed they were shackles now, and the suits clasped Orion into them. Braving a look up, he turned to Scootaloo. Don't worry, Scoots. I love you. Goodbye. Goodbye, Orion, Scootaloo gasped. I love you too. With that, the chains pulled tight and lifted the brown Pegasus all the way up to the gears. The chains grew taut and stretched each of Orion's limbs straight up and down. We find the machine works better if the ribs are broken, Rainbow Dash explained apathetically as the chains spun around in opposite directions, twisting Orion. His screams almost covered the echoing pops and shattering noises. One or two jagged bones tore through his side, and his yells faded to a slow, quiet rattle of breath. The chains untwisted, and then the shackles opened, dropping the shadowed pony into the single opening. With horror, Scootaloo watched, her brain, overcome with what was happening, detached from all emotion. She noticed that the top of the machine wasn't rusty. It was blood. Blood, just like what was being tossed up from the mangled remains of Orion, as the rest of his body was swallowed into the great machine, finishing with one lone hoof, directed straight up, and then nothing was left. As the hoses over the green and red vats of Spectrum started spewing their brilliant colors, Scootaloo's vision started to fade, and the last thing she noticed was Aurora's concerned, broken voice saying her name as Scootaloo flopped to the side. In the Rainbow Factory, where your fears and horrors come true. In the Rainbow Factory, where not a single soul gets through. Scootaloo, get up! Get up now! Hurry, Scootaloo! Wake up! Wake up! Scootaloo shook her head, briefly wondering where she was and what was happening. In a flash, it all came back, and she jumped to her feet. Aurora was shaking her, fright encasing her face. The suits were starting to approach the two now, tasers and shackles up and ready. Scootaloo, they're coming for us. What do we do? Scootaloo looked for an opening. All the doors were blocked except for one. On the scaffolding, the suited ponies were slowly approaching, not rushing in order to prevent the fillies from freaking out. Fear was their tool. Scootaloo spun around, looking for an exit. There was only one, she realized. I have a plan, she whispered to Aurora. What's that? Clear, fly, fall, complete. Aurora nodded in understanding, her eyes widening. She repeated, louder now, so the other frightened fillies could hear. Clear, fly, fall, complete. Got it. 1, Scootaloo started counting. 2, Aurora squeaked as she backed into Scootaloo. The suits were mere feet away now. 3! A collective shout reverberated around the room as every filly that could actually fly took off. The suited ponies gasped and fell back, unsure of where to go. There was too much confusion. A few of the faster-thinking ones took off as well, tasers at the ready, aiming at the closest Pegasus they could take. Step 1, Scootaloo screamed. Clear! With her command, the failures started targeting the dark ponies in droves. Hoofs connected with heads, and while some of the students fell lifeless to the floor, the majority of casualties were the suited ponies. Scootaloo and Aurora landed on the scaffolding right by the door and reached to open it. It was locked. Oh God, what do we do now? Aurora cried. We're still on clear, she shouted, turning around and bucking the door. Aurora followed her, focusing the brunt of her blows on the part of the wall where the latch would be. Rainbow Dash, on the other side of the scaffolding, recovered from her initial shock of the rebellion and noticed Scootaloo pounding on the door. Kill her! She screamed at the other important-looking ponies. Kill her! She started to gallop towards the fillies, forgetting her wings momentarily. Scootaloo closed her eyes, pounding harder and harder on the door. It started to creak and splinter. Any second now, she thought. Rainbow Dash will get here. It's over. I'm doomed. She would have cried, but there were no more tears left. But nothing came. The door started to split from its frame, now leaning inward. It wouldn't be long until it was open. She opened her clenched eyes, peeking up at the scaffolding. All the remaining ponies were there, pressing together, holding the enraged blue Pegasus and her cronies back. They wouldn't last long, however, even as Scootaloo watched. Twitching and yelping ponies were falling to the floor below, some even landing in the great maw of the Spectra machine. A pink pony from Levitating Acres was there, and she turned to Scootaloo and Aurora just as the door blew back into the hall behind. Fly, Pink Pony demanded with pain in her voice. She opened her mouth to speak again, but was cut short as the pile of Pegasus blew apart, with Rainbow Dash standing enraged in the opening. She was on her two back hooves, her front two rolling in the air. A small gash down her side leaked red, and her multicolored mane was torn in a patch. An unearthly howl left past her lips, and her rose eyes were drained of any sanity that was left. Come on, Aurora, Scootaloo pleaded as she spun around. We've got to fly if we're going to live. I can't. Aurora looked at Scootaloo with wide open eyes. You go, Scootaloo. Tell everyone what happens here. Let them know. She glanced back at the wall of students, almost bare now, as Rainbow Dash's bloodlust tore them to pieces. Her blue coat was now glistening crimson, almost dripping as she ignored the need for live ponies. There would be more. Cloudsdale could take a small shortage of rainbows. In another few months, there would be more classes, more failures. But for now, all she knew is that Scootaloo had to die, violently if possible. Decades of working for the Rainbow Factory had fractured her. She was the only one allowed out in public, and keeping the horrible secret with her since childhood had only led to psychological problems that no amount of therapy could cure. Scootaloo was her last link on sanity, and her failure had deleted that. There was no logic in her mind anymore, no care, no capacity for compassion, only hate. Pure, concentrated, evil hatred filled the gap her love for Scootaloo had once occupied. Rainbow Dash was no more, only this monster remained. I hardly knew you, Scootaloo. I hardly knew you, Aurora, Scootaloo cooed softly into the yellow Pegasus beside her. I'm sorry I never knew you until all this. I'm sorry we have to meet like this, and I'm sorry we have to part like this. She sniffled. She had found more tears. Any meeting of a friend is a welcome meeting, Aurora reassured Scootaloo. Now you've heard the other pony. Fly, Scootaloo, fly. Goodbye. Goodbye, Aurora. With that, Scootaloo levitated and spun around, looked into the yellow pony's eyes one last time, and launched down the cramped corridor. She had no idea where she was going, but any chance at freedom was one she had to take. Aurora blinked a couple times, standing in front of the door. Rainbow Dash would have at least one obstacle on her way to Scootaloo. The blue pony tossed the last of her other students over the scaffolding and slowly walked towards Aurora. How cute. You think that you, a useless broken pile of manure, could possibly stand in my way? You really make me laugh. None of you can compete with the awesome power I have. Love can overcome all evils in this world. Aurora straightened herself in rebellion as Rainbow Dash stopped in front of her. Aurora stayed in front of Dash, barring her entry down the corridor beyond. Well then, bitch, let's see if love will overcome this one. And with that, Rainbow Dash grabbed one of Aurora's bandaged wings and pulled, tearing it off of her completely. Aurora collapsed onto her knees, grinding her teeth in horrible pain. But she didn't scream. She wouldn't give in to Rainbow Dash. Rainbow grabbed her other wing and dragged her kicking and moaning down to the center of the scaffolding. She lifted Aurora by the wing, laughing quietly to herself as the look of intense agony appeared on Aurora's face. Rainbow Dash took to the air, bringing the squirming yellow and green pony with her over top of the machine. With a squeak of evil laughter, she jerked at the wing in her hoof. It, too, disconnected from the now convulsing Pegasus, and Aurora fell. She landed headfirst. The door on the scaffolding closed with a gust of wind, just as the machine began pumping the brightest greens and yellows it had ever produced, and there was no one around to see it. Scootaloo glanced backwards momentarily, her heart pounding. The noise of the constant thump-thump drowned out any other sound in her head, her ears throbbing along with it. The corridor was just like the one that led to the theater room, cramped, with dozens of obstacles jutting out at random intervals. Straight behind her, maybe 500 meters now, bloody mare that used to be Rainbow Dash was cruising along herself. Both Pegasi were completely straight, hooves forward, wings beating at an impossible count, one trying to escape, the other to capture. Scootaloo looked forward again, focusing on what lay ahead of her. That's all that matters, she thought. What's ahead of me? There's no changing what's behind me. Ignore it. Focus. For the second time in as many days, a flood of instinct overtook Scootaloo, and despite the terror she felt in her body, the sorrow that had surrounded her, and the evil behind her, her worries melted away, and the thought of flying encased her very being. Down under wires and pipes she ducked, up and around various workers whose complaints and shouts were ignored, only to be repeated momentarily as the raging pony behind collided with them. Her body doing the flying, Scootaloo's thoughts turned to escape opportunities. She whipped around sharp corners at impossible speeds, zipped up and down countless sets of stairs, trying to shake her murderous tail, but to no avail. She contemplated every nook and cranny she passed, briefly considering hiding. She struck that idea down. As insane as Rainbow Dash may be, she was still too smart to overlook any possible spot Scootaloo may be. But there, ahead of her, Scootaloo thought she had found a solution. A garbage vent of some kind, sticking out from the wall, down to the floor below. Momentarily, she gave thought to where it may lead, other than whether out of the factory or into some incinerator, she couldn't tell, but it was probably worth the risk. She snuck one last glance behind her to make sure the unstable mare was far enough away. Rainbow Dash was paying no attention to any hazard as she sought her prey, going through any electrical wires and ricocheting off heated pipes, going through any obstacle rather than around it to save time, but the collisions had slowed her down enough to give Scootaloo a chance. She slammed to a sudden halt over the open vent, hoping for her life. Fall, she muttered, closing her eyes and her wings, resisting the urge to start flapping immediately. She counted silently to herself as shadows rushed past her closed eyes. Hoping for the best of where this vent led. 1, 2, 3. She opened her eyes and her wings and looked up, hovering. Rainbow Dash was up above, looking down into the vent. Her eyes were buggy and twitched. Her hooves pounded on the edge of the vent. She was too large to follow, the filly having barely made it in herself. But then the anger in her face vanished, only to be replaced by a malicious grin. She started laughing again, the cackle echoing down the vent and reverberating in Scootaloo's mind. You moron! You never did have a good sense of direction, she teased, laughing again. Scootaloo finally looked down, getting her bearings. Oh no, she squealed. She was in the theater room again, only now it was full of suited ponies, circling her. Their masked faces seemed to be grinning at her as Rainbow Dash shouted orders down the vent. Don't let her die! I must do it! Subdue her! Catch her! She whinnied in glorious victory as the suits shot Scootaloo with a taser, and as her limp body began to fall from the air, caught her and brought her to the floor. Scootaloo blacked out momentarily as the electricity passed through her, but she came to lying on the cold cloud floor, metal shackles preventing her from moving. She struggled to get free. She could hardly shake. The chains lifted her slightly, bringing her small body eye to eye with the Pegasus in front of her. The pony was a deep blood red, glistening in the artificial light of the factory. Her mane had small spots of glorious colors of the rainbow, but was mostly the same red color as her coat of fur. Chunks of skin were missing from small spots, and her hair was ripped in some places, bald patches of skin in others. The only clue Scootaloo had as to who this used to be were the rose irises focused in on her. Any final words, you miserable, worthless whore of a fool? Scootaloo brought her chin high, still demanding even the tiniest fraction of dignity. You have beautiful eyes, she cooed, softly, yet clearly. Holy shit. I did it. I read the entire thing. Alright. We should probably move on. Hang on. Let me see if I can find the sequel. Oh my gosh. There's literally a sequel. Pegasus device. Sequel to the Rainbow Factory. Holy shit. Wow. Alright. I'm kind of curious. This is so cool. Alright. I wonder if Scootaloo somehow survives. Should I read this though? Or should I just not? Holy shit. This one is really long. Okay, so chapter one. Even chapter one just takes an hour to read. Over an hour. Just chapter one takes over an hour to read, and there's more chapters. But let's see how long this one is. Holy shit, it's over an hour. Alright. I might just do what I did with Shirley's Garden and read the entire story. Only that'd be an upload and not a live stream. With Shirley's Garden, what I did on my old channel, but I basically made a single video where I read the entire story and I did nothing else. There was like no vlogging or anything. With my live streams, those are always vlogs, and I usually try and do like more than one thing. Like if I'm browsing Reddit, for example, I try to go to a bunch of subreddits, and maybe I'll do like other stuff, or I'll do the live streams where I'm playing games, and I'll do them, and I won't just play one family when I'm in The Sims, or like I'll try and find other ideas, other family, or like edit edit the house and stuff like that, and not just focus on playing the families or whatever. But alright. Okay. Alright, it might just be okay. This is gonna be a long one. Hang on. Oh my gosh. This is gonna take an hour too. There's 3 chapters, each an hour long. Hang on, let's see how many chapters there are, because I want to go. Oh my gosh, there's 5 chapters. Wait, there's 4 chapters, and then there's an epilogue. Let's see how long this chapter is. Wait, okay. An hour left. Holy shit, alright. How long is the epilogue? So this is gonna take me probably like 5 hours to read. Let's see how long the epilogue is. 3 minutes. Okay. So this is probably gonna take me between 5 and 5.5 hours to read. So what I'm gonna say is we do the entire thing in one run, and I do basically what I did with Shirley's Garden, and I read the entire video, and I just read the entire story in like one run. And then we've also got Little Miss Rarity over here. Hang on, let me see what this is, because I've heard of this one before, and I heard it was really creepy, and I'm really interested. Creation, Chapter 1. What? Bro, where's Little Miss Rarity? Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, what? Next infection, chapter 2. What the heck? Alright. Okay, there's a lot of, let me try and find the actual version with, good grammar and stuff. Because I kind of had some trouble reading that book because of the bad grammar. Like, usually I just know what the person's trying to say, but it's really hard to just. Low Miss Rarity. Yes, that's what I meant. Little Miss Rarity. Okay, there's a song. Alright, there's some really creepy shit in my MLP world. Alright. There's some really creepy fan art, by the way, for this. Have you guys seen? If you guys want to see something creepy, look up Little Miss Rarity and read it, and not read it, but look at the fan art. Alright. Let's try and see if we can find it. I really want to find it. I know I found a version on Wattpad, but I want to try and find the original version. So, read a little, Miss Rarity. Looks like someone read the story on her channel. I actually listened to that person reading the story on her channel. Although I didn't really listen to it, I was just putting it in the background as kind of for my writing. So we've got, I think the only way we're gonna find this is literally if we just go to, okay, it says it's completed, so it should just be one part for the, alright, come on, read. I want to read it. Come on, read. Thank you. Please read with precaution. Holy shit, okay. Wow, alright. Okay, I think I found it. I think I found the Okay, I think I found the actual story. 44 minutes left. Holy shit, this is gonna take a while. Okay. Alright, this is gonna take a freaking while. But, looks like it has most of the main 6 characters in it at least, so that's what I was looking for. I really loved the experiments of Twilight Sparkle, by the way, and I would love to go back and read it again as if I never read it. But unfortunately, I can't do that right now. I can't read the experiments of Twilight Sparkle again because it hasn't even been so long. Because I literally haven't, like, it hasn't even been so long. It hasn't even been so long that I can read it again, like with Cupcakes. Maybe I'll read Cupcakes again during this live stream. It's already getting to be over an hour. Am I okay? Oh my gosh. I have to just okay. So I gotta try and figure out what I'm gonna do next. I think as far as this goes, I'm just gonna bookmark it for now and kind of come back to it later. I think I might read Cupcakes again, so just hold on because I'm gonna find it and read it. Okay. I was just saying how I wanted to read something like the experiment of Twilight Sparkle and like the experiments of Twilight Sparkle. And I really love Cupcakes. It's like the OG of creepypastas that I've read on my channel. I actually made a creepypasta channel like years ago, and I still have not uploaded anything to it yet. It's just sitting there like waiting for me to upload something. Maybe that's where I'll upload my creepy My Little Pony videos from now on. Like once I get things going with my uploads again, which hopefully will happen in the next couple weeks or so. I just don't know when UCAM is gonna get here, and I don't know when I'm gonna be able to. I just don't know when I'm gonna be able to. Like when the because I ordered something online that's like a physical copy that has to get shipped to me. So I couldn't find a way to like buy it online. So I literally had to get it shipped to me, and there was a disc, and I have to like get my mini DVD player now. Found the one that connects to my computer because I stopped because it's in a box somewhere because I like literally stopped using it because my computer wasn't supporting it anymore because my computer's USB ports are like pretty much completely broken. For some reason, we can still plug USB sticks into my old computer and that works, but plugging in other shit doesn't work. Plugging in my video cameras doesn't work. Plugging in my phone doesn't work. Plugging in my mini DVD player doesn't work. So, because I couldn't use it when we moved, I actually put it in a box somewhere and it's been in there for almost a year now, even though I could have sworn that I had it not in a box and I brought it to my new apartment. But my mom says she looked into my room like many times and she hasn't like been able to find it. So I guess it's in a box somewhere. I don't know. But hopefully we're gonna be so we have to find my mini DVD player first of all, and then my UCAM actually has to get here. So and by the way, my mom's friend is away all week. So it's gonna be at least a week until she can get it. So even if my UCAM gets here sooner, we can't install it for at least a week. Um and then we have like um and then we have like um and then so we have to get my mini DVD player, and then I have to get the UCAM delivered to me, and then I have to actually, plug in the thing and install it and be able to do that. And because computers don't come with DVD drives anymore directly, like they don't have a DVD drive just installed in the computer, which I'm pretty sure they did when I got my first laptop, a while ago. But wait, maybe my last computer was my first laptop. But either way, I think I thought I had a DVD player in one of my other computers some other time. Maybe that was just when I had a desktop. But either way, but either way, I couldn't see any thing on the site to download it to buy the to download the purchase version like directly to your computer. You have to order it through a physical copy. So, in other words, if you want to install this program and you don't have a DVD drive, you're pretty much screwed. That's the good thing about my editing program, though, because I have a product key, so I just have to uninstall it onto my other computer, and then I can reinstall it onto this computer using the product key again. So hopefully that'll work, because I don't want to find out that I have to repurchase that too. I spent a lot of money on like programs over the 7 years that I had that laptop, like trying to get everything set up for, YouTube videos and stuff like that. Excuse me. But either way, I'm really curious about alternate endings, because I found this wiki about cupcakes, and I couldn't find, and I'll find the actual story in a minute, but I want to just see. Okay, Apple Bloom has this. Apple Bloom has this dream every night. So these are the unofficial endings, unofficial alternate endings. Um, so these are the unofficial endings. Wait. Okay. Apple Bloom has this dream every night. She is fed up and kills Pinkie Pie with a machete. I've never heard of that version before. I want to try and find what I want to do over the next few months or so, if is find all the alternate endings and read them, because I read a couple of alternate endings to cupcakes before, or maybe I just read the one. I think I just read the one, but it was for my Halloween videos, I'm pretty sure, and I think it was for the October Spooktacular like 5 or 6 years ago, and I posted some kind of alternate ending to cupcakes. But either way, Rainbow Dash is saved by Dobie, Fluttershy, and Orangefly, along with a team of FBI ponies, and and Pinkie Pie is taken to a madhouse. However, this ending is still in production, and citation is needed. Pinkie Pie serves the cupcakes she made out of Rainbow Dash to her friends. She then asks Twilight if she thought the cupcakes tasted like rainbows. No pony catches on to the fact that they are eating Rainbow Dash. Seriously. When Rainbow Dash is about to faint because of soporific. Wait, what? When Rainbow is about to faint because of soporific. Is that a word? Soporific or soporific? Cupcake, she resists and sees Pinkie preparing the table of torture, so she flees before Pinkie can kill her. The whole story with Pinkie Pie's nightmare, for some reason, the story is a picture file. It all happened because of Princess Celestia being cursed during a confrontation with Nightmare Moon, as the story of Celestia fighting Luna is described to be much more violent than remembered in Pony Myths of Nightmare Moon, featuring global pony-to-pony face-off, massive battles, and a dragon still being held in Celestia's place in Canterlot, waiting in Celestia's palace in Canterlot, waiting for her to pass the ruler's light to Luna, and letting him put an end to her life and the curse in the last honorable battle. I don't understand why Pinkie Pie needs to kill Rainbow Dash for cupcakes for that, but either way, I'm really curious to find all these alternate endings, unless, wait, is this gonna take me to the alternate ending if I click on it? Apparently not. Oh wait, this is, what's this? Wait. Pinkie Pie's last party. What? Oh, Cupcake's alternate ending. Ah, okay. So it brings me directly. There's a thing on the okay, there's like a thing or a link or something for each of these, which is awesome. So I can just read them to you guys as I find them. Now how do I go back up? I want to go back. Wait. Okay. Okay. Um, Okay, Twilight Sparkle accidentally goes in the bakery, notices something weird, and witnesses Pinkie Pie's brutal death in the torture table gears. Interesting. Okay, interesting. What's next? Wait, just okay. Celestia's ever-free ranger hoof swat storms the cellar, prevents Pinkie Pie from applying lethal damage to Rainbow Dash, and takes her into custody. Citation needed. If it says citation needed, it pretty much means that they don't know where it came from, so I can't find it and read it to you guys, unfortunately. Rainbow Dash escapes and then burns Pinkie Pie alive in the bakery's oven. She then leaves the scene completely unfazed by what had just transpired. Why is she unfazed by one of her friends trying to kill her? Applejack saves Rainbow Dash when she goes to the bakery to see why Rainbow's late for a dinner party. The events of the story were visions that Discord showed Pinkie Pie during the return of Harmony. Are you kidding? Wait, no! Citation needed, are you kidding? Oh no! It was a story Fluttershy wrote after hearing an inappropriate rap song by humans. How? In an extremely short version that kicks off at the very end of Cupcakes, Rainbow Dash is about to be skinned alive when SWAT ponies breach through the door, kill Pinkie Pie, and rescue traumatized Rainbow Dash. That sounds more realistic of the trauma she would get, other than, just being unfazed by the whole thing. Because that doesn't make any sense. It is a nightmare that repeatedly haunts Rainbow Dash every night. That's rocket to insanity, to the point that Rainbow Dash eventually uses her sanity and kills Pinkie Pie with a kitchen knife. Sweet. The alternate ending has an alternate ending where Rainbow Dash brings Pinkie Pie to the hospital and they reconcile. Ooh, I have to find that. The ending is also known as Rocket to Insanity. Rainbow Dash, who knows of Pinkie Pie's scheme before. Okay, this doesn't say citation needed, but there's no link or anything. So, do they just not have a link for it? Rainbow Dash, who knows of Pinkie's scheme beforehand, shoves the subversive cupcake down Pinkie's throat, forcing her to eat it, and the story goes on as normal with the roles reversed. Okay, great. Or she could just, call the police, but I guess whatever. I do want to read that one too. It'll be nice to see Rainbow Dash get some justice. Good Pinkie Pie enters the room and tells Rainbow Dash that Pinkamena is her evil clone. Pinkamena throws a knife at Pinkie, but Pinkie bounces out of the way and knife stabs Pinkamena instead, killing her. That sounds like Pinkie to me. The events replay in an endless loop. The events replay in an endless loop, with Rainbow Dash waking up the same time that morning after dying. However, in attempting to prevent Pinkie Pie from killing her, she either fails or dies of some other random event. Holy shit. That's amazing. Okay, I love that one. I need to watch that one. There's this movie called Death Day, and that's the exact plot. There's this college girl that dies, and then she continues waking up every day on the day that she died, and then she wakes up every day on the day that she died, and then she dies again, and then she wakes up on the day that she died again, and it's an endless loop. It's like Groundhog Day, but horror themed, and this is like Groundhog Day, but like Death Day, but like My Little Pony themed version, which sounds amazing. And they have a link here for it. So I'm going to read that at some point. I'm probably not going to read it today. I'm actually thinking about ending the stream early, but I guess we'll see. I might try and read Cupcakes though, because that's what I really wanted to do. Okay. However, in attempting to prevent Pinkie Pie from killing her, she either fails or dies of some other random event. Rainbow Dash dies, and Rarity is Pinkie's next victim. Twilight Sparkle goes on a search regarding Pinkie's recent activities, eventually catching her in the act. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I was reading, except I stopped when I think Sweetie Belle was gonna be killed, because Sweetie Belle, finds her, killing Rarity, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, was Fluttershy the next victim? Because that's an alternate ending as well. Okay, alright. Applejack and Fluttershy investigate the murder and discover that Twilight is the next victim. They place Dizzy Twister in charge of Dash and will go after Pinky. Applejack, okay, on a lot of these, it doesn't say citation needed and it also doesn't have a link. So, what am I supposed to think? Is citation needed or is there a link or what is going on? Why is there no link and there's no citation needed? So, like, what? Am I just supposed to know? Am I just supposed to, like, know what the title is and look it up myself? Because I don't know. Because if I don't know the title, there's no way to look it up. Applejack comes to the bakery to taste the cupcakes, but with the first bite, she discovers Dashy's bloody cutie mark in the stuffing. Furious, she strangles Pinky's with her hooves and legs. It was all a nightmare Rainbow Dash had after she accidentally crashed, landing in Poison Joke. However, the others were having trouble with her giving the bath because of Rainbow's flailing. Interesting. It has been 2 years since the events of Cupcakes, and Fluttershy is Pinky's new target. See, there's a bunch of these without a freaking, like, citation. It doesn't say citation needed and there's no link. So how am I supposed to find it? Because I can't. I'm thinking it's going to be difficult to find it without the title. I can't even find some MLP Creepypastas when I have the title. It was a nightmare trying to find freaking Little Miss Rarity. It's been 2 years since the events of Cupcakes, and Fluttershy is Pinky's new target. Finally, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think that's the one I read. Unlike Rainbow Dash, however, she survives due to Angel Bunny, who's killed by Pinky. I don't remember that part. Fluttershy then kills Pinky and is then found by Twilight Sparkle. Then the truth finally comes out to the rest of the main six. Twilight, without knowing, saves Rainbow Dash when Pinkie Pie's about to cut her wings off. She tells Rainbow that Pinky pitched a scary bad joke just to warn that Nightmare Night is coming. In the waking world, Rainbow Dash is returning from the Wonderbolt's performance in Cloudsdale when she hears a blood-curdling scream from the Sugar Cube Corner. She immediately flies in and finds out that the source of the scream was Pinkie Pie herself. She had just woken up from a horrible nightmare in which she had brutally murdered Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash then comforts her and persuades her that no, she hasn't and will not become a psychopathic killer. I like that one. I like that one. It is all a recurring nightmare that Rainbow Dash has been having, and she doesn't remember the details until one day she sees Pinkie Pie and panics that the memory is coming back. With the help of Princess Luna, Pinkie enters Rainbow's dream when it happens again the next night and saves Rainbow Dash from a murderous other, and they discover the dream is being caused by a malicious dream sprite, which Luna deals with and allows Pinkie and Rainbow Dash to spend the time together in a much happier dream. Aww. Oh, and by the way, there's a little music video that's set by that's set to the song called Ready to Die by Andrew WK, which I love Andrew WK. I've been to his concert like every time he's come to Toronto since I discovered him in 2014, I think. So, like, 3 concerts. I've been to 3 of his concerts. I know I've been to 3 of his concerts. I don't remember if it was 2013 or 2014 when I discovered him, but I found him. I found him, and then I loved his music, and then I've been to see him every time he's been in Toronto, which was 3 times. So, okay, where is Cupcakes? Why can I not find the MLP stories that I'm looking for? Wait, this is Cupcakes the video. Ooh, wait, this is Cupcakes the video. Ooh, okay. It's produced by Steven Spielberg. Written by Lois Faust. Composed by Andrew Wilkes Pryor. There it is. And it has Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dashing. I love this video. This is your judgment day. Prepare your sacrifice to take your life. You shoot without a gun. Take on anyone. It's really nothing. It's just nothing. You better get die. Better get ready to kill. Get ready to kill. Better get better get ready to die. Hey. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Life is over now. Your life is running out. When your time is at an end, then it's time to kill again. It's you, God. Why? Just a parasite. Now close your eyes and say goodnight. Better get ready to die. Die. Better get ready to kill. Get ready to kill. Better get ready to run, 'cause here we come. Been a running, ready to run. Get ready to die. Better get ready to die. Get ready to die. Die. Been a long ready to die. Get ready to die. Die. Better get ready to die. Ready to die. Been a long time coming. Now you better start running, and you better get ready to die. Dun, 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 dun. Holy shit, that was amazing. I'm so glad I got to share that with 0 viewers. Okay, whatever. I'm really glad I got to share that with you guys. Honestly, whatever. No one's watching. I don't care. I don't. I'm so happy. Anyway, that was really fun. I request that song at like every concert, but it's always super loud and no one can hear me over it. Uh, by the way, that song is Harvey's theme song because he kills people. Harvey Wixton, from In the Heart of Darkness. So that reminds me, I need to. I'm hoping that once my UCAM is here and I get it installed and everything, that I can start uploading more chapters of my book because I read like chapter 1 to 13. I'm pretty sure. I read chapter 1 through 13 in my original live stream, and then I was trying to read more chapters. So I think that I was trying to read more chapters, and I think I read another chapter like after that live stream, but I haven't gotten to post it yet. But either way, I'm really hopeful that I can get to do that more like after. And I also have like tons of other books that I would love to read for you guys. Like we've got Crazy on the Outside. I write like tons of fan fiction that I would love to share with you guys. I have Friends fan fiction. I have South Park fan fiction. I have like all sorts of fan fiction. So I have the Llamas with Hats fan fiction, which I absolutely love, which stars this guy and one other guy, his friend Paul. So if you guys haven't seen Llamas with Hats yet, I actually highly recommend it. And the guy who made Llamas with Hats, Film Cow, he actually makes like tons of other videos. And he makes other cartoons and stuff, and it's all really, really cool. So I would definitely recommend checking that guy out if you haven't yet. His name is Film Cow, and he is really awesome. He made and that's where Carl came from. He came from that series, Llamas with Hats, and I don't know, I might like and there's also Charlie the Unicorn, and that's basically it. He also has like a parody series of Charlie the Unicorn called Charlie to Unicron. So if you guys want to check that out, it's pretty funny. And it's supposed to be like a parody series, and it's supposed to be bad, but I really love it. Oh, it's getting pretty late. Um, My computer's actually running low on battery, so I'm gonna have to plug it in soon. So I think first of all, I think I might just stop this stream now unless I can find cupcakes in the next like 2 minutes. But I also need to plug in my computer, so I have to deal with that in a sec. But right now I'm gonna try and find cupcakes because it doesn't have to be plugged in just quite yet. MLP comment Doug Pinky reads cupcakes. Okay. Okay, I think I found it. Here we go. It's on Wattpad again. There's oh my gosh, there's so all of these are on Wattpad. Why are they nowhere else? There's literally an MLP fan fiction site just for Friendship is Magic fan fiction. Why are they not there? Because I think they were originally posted there. I'm wondering who's taking them down and why. Because there's literally tons of other like grimdark fan fictions there. So I'm just wondering why. I need to. Okay, I need to get my computer charger. And I'm also gonna turn on the arrow down like something. My mom says she wouldn't mind, so. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna try and get this to work. Can. Oh, like getting this to go all the way to where I needed to yesterday. Hopefully. I can be able to bring my charger all the way over here because my computer actually plugs in on the wrong side or on the separate. I'm just gonna move this over a little bit and then I'm gonna try and move it back. That seems to be working. Alright. I also turned the air on to 74 because I'm getting hot, so hopefully that'll deal with that soon. It should turn down like a few degrees. My mom doesn't mind me turning the air on a little bit, like I don't usually turn it to 72 because she doesn't usually let me. Because like this is her house and her bills and blah blah blah. But so usually we're able to make some kind of compromise, and she says it's okay if I put it at like 75 or 74 or something, and usually those little couple of degrees make a big difference for me. So because I'm usually pretty warm. All right. All right, I think we're gonna read cupcakes, and then that's gonna be it because there is a lot. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're gonna try and do this. Okay, one shot. Wait, if I'm gonna do this in one shot, I need more water. So just give me a second. It's a pretty short one, so it should be fine if I just do it in like one shot really quick. Okay. Alright, this one's a pretty short one actually, so it shouldn't be a problem. I think it took me like 20 between 20 and 25 minutes to read on my other channel, like when I last read it, which was like 5 years ago by this point. Um, so yeah, it's definitely due for a renewed reading, or like a redo. And since I'm reading MLP Creepypastas, plural, and I've only read one so far, so I figured that this live stream is the perfect opportunity to do it. And yeah, my mom isn't even getting home till like 8:30, and basically, and then she still has to shower, so we should not have a problem at all to read this one. And I think after this, I'm going to end the live stream because there's not one single viewer, and um, I messaged the one guy who was here yesterday and was that you need to continue the live stream because apparently he has no friends. And I made like a special Facebook account just to talk to him, and he hasn't been talking back to me that much. So don't know why. Like I sent him a message like yesterday, and then only today I got a message back. So I don't know. I mean, maybe if it keeps going, I'll just delete my account or something because it's not worth having an account for a person that rarely talks to me like when I'm talking to them. Because I don't know, like a lot of the time I'm just busy or something and I don't have the time to talk. But, if I do have the time to talk, it would be nice if that person was there, especially since he made a big deal about me wanting to make this Facebook account specifically for him. And I literally spent like 40 minutes and I spent like half an hour or 40 minutes or something literally trying to figure out this whole Facebook account thing with this guy just so I could talk to him, and he's not saying much back. I literally texted him today I literally messaged him today that I was going to stream like many hours ago. I have not heard back from him, and clearly he's not in the stream. So I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of bothering me that after this guy made a big deal about wanting to make a specific Facebook account, that he's you know, not more available, because a lot of the time I'm not even available. But when I am available, it would be nice if we could, chat or something, especially since he just made this big deal, and now, he's not even, you know, like here, like he's not even in the stream right now, and he made a big deal about like wanting to be in my live streams and stuff, and he's like not here. Where is he? I don't know. I don't know. It just kind of bothers me. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I don't want to make him I don't want to make him feel bad or anything. But I don't know. I just when I can talk, it would be nice if we could talk. I don't have much human contact either, aside from my mom. So yeah. So he's not available when I'm available, and I'm not available when he's available, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't work very well. So I might just delete my Facebook account because I don't know, and it's just not worth it to have a Facebook account for this one specific guy when we're not even going to be available at the same time and talking at the same time. And I'll text him when I'm streaming, and he's not even in the stream. So I don't know, but I'll figure it out over the next couple of days. But I think if things don't change, then I'm just gonna delete my Facebook account, and he can just talk to me in my live streams like everyone else does, because I literally made this Facebook account for this one specific person, and I literally made an exception for him that I never make for anyone, which is that my Facebook account is for my friends and family only. And he's not really even an online friend. He's just a stream. He's just like a person who was in my stream. Like, I want to be friendly to you guys, but I'm also not gonna say that anyone I talk to on my streams is suddenly my friend. But I literally made this exception for him, and we're not even talking to each other at the same time. So how is this even going to work? But hopefully this will get fixed, because otherwise I'm just gonna delete my Facebook account, because if we can't even talk to each other, there's not even a point. Like, he can just do what everyone else does and be at my streams and talk to me on my live streams. And I am planning to live stream like every day or every other day. So it's not even like it's going to be that big of a problem for him to communicate with me. It's not even like it's that hard. Like, all he has to do is show up when I'm streaming, and then he can talk to me for like 2 to 3 hours at a time. Honestly, he's probably not going to get a whole lot of attention over on my Facebook page, even the specific Facebook account that I made for him, because honestly, I just don't use Facebook that much, and most of the time I'm pretty busy in my own life doing my own stuff. Like, I'll be trying to, do whatever, do whatever, and I can't, like, be wasting that time, like, messaging people, because I'm trying to do a whole thing in my life. Like, I'm trying to read, I'm trying to write, I'm trying to spend time with, my mom, because she's the only one that I have any contact with. So, basically, I'm just, trying to focus on my writing, which is the biggest thing that I do, which is, why I can't constantly be pumping out YouTube videos, because I have to try and focus on my writing. That's the thing I want to ultimately turn into my work someday, and I can't be wasting time doing whatever, which I've actually been wasting time doing other stuff a lot these past few days, and I've actually been doing a lot of other things that don't involve my writing. And I literally have not gotten any writing done in the last 2 days, and I literally only got 1 sentence of writing done today, and that was about it. So I really do need to start focusing on my writing more. Like, I really need to get in there and get my writing done so that I can finish what I need to finish, so that I can finally, figure out my next step and possibly get published and, just figure that shit out. So honestly, this guy would probably get a lot more time and attention by me by just showing up to every single one of my live streams. Like, he's probably gonna get more attention on my live streams over the next few weeks and or months, than he would just being on my Facebook in probably like a year. Like, I probably give more attention to you guys on my live streams, I probably give more attention to whoever's in my live stream at the time in one live stream than I do for my Facebook page in like 4 months. Because honestly, it's just not my thing. Like, other than YouTube, which I'm fanatical about, and I think the other place where I post my writing, but honestly, I don't really count that as like social media. Social media is like videos and pictures and, random posts about shit you're doing with your friends. It's not sharing stories, to me anyway. Like, so like I communicate through my stories, and that's how I do it with people. And, I'm not into the like whole posting under 140 characters thing. That's why I don't have a Twitter account. And then, so I just don't care that much about my Facebook account. Like, yeah, there's definitely some good pictures that I posted that I like, and some good memories that I have that, like, just today I got a notification from Facebook, and 70 years ago I was in Cleveland, Ohio, in the United States with my family, and all these memories came flooding back. So it is awesome to, do that every once in a while. Like, one of my favorite memories from Cleveland, Ohio was when I was able to get my brother to the House of Blues. So it was only 7 years ago. So I was 19, and I basically offered to stay in the hotel room. My brother made a big deal out of when he was there. He wanted to go to the House of Blues, and they even had like one of his favorite bands playing, I'm pretty sure. So he was telling mommy how he wanted to go to the House of Blues, and then we were like, no, well, we can't do that. Your sister's here, and blah blah blah. And then I pretty much basically insisted that she should take him, because I was just gonna spend the night alone in the hotel room, and they had Wi-Fi, so I was just gonna watch videos on my phone and stuff. And I was literally like, okay, go to the House of Blues because you don't know when you're gonna get this chance again. Like we live in Newmarket / Aurora / GTA or whatever. Like we can go to places in Newmarket, we can go to places in Aurora, but we don't know when we're gonna be in Cleveland, Ohio, in the States again. I so I was telling them that I was gonna stay in the hotel alone and they couldn't go to the House of Blues. And it was actually really nice because I had my family there basically the entire few days we were in Cleveland, Ohio. We went there for one specific reason, and that was to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it was so much fun. I had such a great time. I can't say the same for my brother, but I'm pretty sure he really enjoyed going to the House of Blues. He told me how great the experience was when he came back. So yeah, it was pretty awesome, and it was pretty awesome that I made it all happen. And he was 15 at the time because it was years ago. So he was a teenager and he was kind of just doing his thing, and he didn't care, but you know anyway, it was pretty cool. And we also ate at this really awesome dessert place, which I now can't recall the name of, but they had amazing chocolate. I think it was even named after some chocolate wood. It was like some wood that meant chocolate. Maybe I'm not 100% sure, but it was like chocolate. I don't know, some kind of chocolate place. But it was so fun, and I had such a great time at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. One of the best experiences of my life. And the couple of days we spent in Cleveland, Ohio were actually awesome. And it was actually right after my birthday. So I was looking into getting a drink because if you live in the US, you don't have the same rules as us. In Canada, you can drink when you're 19. That's legal drinking age. So I was kind of looking to get a rum and Coke because I love Coke, and um, there was this experience that I had. I'll tell it to you guys maybe later or maybe in another stream or something. I'm doing another stream again tomorrow, so maybe I'll just like tell random stories about my life or something, and maybe we'll play a little bit of video games or something like that. But uh basically when we were in Cleveland, Ohio, it was right after my birthday because it's the 29th of July, so it was the 29th of July when we were in Cleveland, Ohio, and that was the date on my Facebook memories from Cleveland, Ohio. And it was so fun, and we actually drove the car to get there. But anyway, we were looking to get me a rum and Coke, and then when we were in the elevator, like on the way to our hotel, my mom and I were talking about getting a drink when we were there, and I was like, oh wait, we can't get a drink here because we're in the US now and the legal drinking age is not 19, it's 21. So we were realizing that we couldn't get a drink because because I wasn't old enough. If we were in, like, when you come to another country, you can't just be like, oh, I came from Canada, so the US's rules don't apply to me, like, kind of thing. And it was really fun, but regardless, I did get my rum and Coke, and I did not like it, even though I liked it the first time I had it. But I didn't like it. Was probably because it was from another restaurant or something. But I actually added more Coke in when I was questioning them about it, and that didn't work. I still didn't like it, so I don't know what they did with it at the other place where I got it the first time, but it was better at that place. Um, but it was like a special thing. First of all, it was all the way in Elmont, and second of all, my grandparents had taken me there, and I don't even think it was like a restaurant or something. I think it was just like a place where we had gathered to get dinner. So it wasn't like I could just get my mom to drive me there, you know. But whatever, it was super fun, and we had a great time, and I mean, my brother I think the best part of his trip was going to the House of Blues, and I'm really glad that I told them that I would stay in the hotel room alone and they could go and do that. Okay, if we're gonna be eating cupcakes, we gotta do this now. So I might actually end the stream and bookmark this for later because honestly, I'm tired and I'm thirsty and my voice is kind of shot. So I think my voice needs a break for a while. So I'm just gonna yeah, I'm gonna end the stream. Oh, I see Denise and Scout going by. I'm in the living room, and the living room is by this big set of windows. And then if you look like up through the windows, there's a part where you can see what's happening right above the balcony, like a little bit, and there's a sidewalk there. And I can see whenever Denise, and when I'm sitting in the living room, I can see whenever Denise is going by with Scout and they're going for a walk, which is really awesome. I think I told you guys this yesterday, but Denise, or Denise's dog, Scout, was Dasher's friend, and also, and so once Scout was in the house, like running around looking for Dasher, it was really sweet and sad at the same time. Also, Denise was here, I think it was yesterday, like after I started live streaming, because yesterday I live streamed a lot earlier than when I streamed today, and it was a lot shorter. It was like an hour. Today's stream was like an hour longer than yesterday's stream. And basically, another reason I can't wait for you, Cam, is because I don't like that my head tilts to the opposite side. Like when I tilt it to the left, it looks like it's going to the right. And when I tilt it to the right, like I don't know if I'm explaining this well enough because I'm facing the opposite way for you guys. So it just looks like I'm, tilting it to the right. But when I tilt it this way, it goes that way on the camera. Like, okay, watch this. My head is over here. My head is technically over my head is technically supposed to be over there because I'm tilting it that way, but then I've got it over here. Like, oh, never mind. Okay, I can't do this. I can't explain it because it's impossible to explain, but either way, this camera would be facing the other way if it was UCam, and you guys would be seeing my head tilt the correct way. And, like, it looks like I'm tilting the correct way, but okay, anyway, I need to really shut this live stream down now, so unless anyone's gonna make a last minute pop in, I'm gonna say good night to you guys. And it's pretty late, so I should probably just get going anyway. Like, usually I do streams for a lot longer than this, but as you can tell, my voice is not good. So I gotta say goodnight to you guys. I love each and every single one of you guys. Please don't forget to always be yourself. Vanellope signing out. Oh, and I hope you like my haircut. Actually, I got something really interesting coming soon, so I hope you guys like it. Bye.